Good evening and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How is everybody tonight? I hope you're all well. I hope you're staying in out of the storm that's raging about us. Good evening, Mystical Unicorn Painting. How are you tonight? I hope you're well. Hope you're all ready for the weekend. So then, what game are we going to play this evening? We are going to be playing Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game from Steamforged Games. Yes, those of you who are PlayStation owners, I'm sure it's been a very exciting day because, of course, the sequel Horizon Forbidden West has launched today on the Sony PlayStation. And to sort of coincide with that, we're going to play the board game of the original version of the game, Horizon Zero Dawn. And I'm looking forward to it. This is a game that I've wanted to bring to the table for quite some time, and I've unpacked it, and I've been going through the rules, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Good evening, Sarah. So, you're all set and ready? Shall we bring you on in then? Hello, Sarah.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Plumb tuckered out, but let's do this.
We can do this. We can do it. You know what? I've been going through the rules, and it's a very procedural type of game. So we've actually managed to skip quite a bit in just doing the setup. What we're going to concentrate on tonight is the actual hunt. And depending on how we do, we might actually get 2 hunts in, but we'll see. We'll see. So let's go to the table, and I'll explain what I've done. All right, so here we go. You can see the board set out. I should have actually moved these back over here because we haven't decided our starting area. So let me walk you through how the game is set up. First of all, what we do is we do something that's called the tracking phase. And the leader of our hunt, in this case, it's going to be myself, only for the fact of maybe I might have a little bit more of an idea of how to play to start off with, so I'm going to sort of take the lead. However, the leader token does swap between players during the course of an entire hunt. So the leader gets to choose 3 tracking cards, and I'll just show you some examples just here. Oh, we won't show you that one because that's quite scary. So here is a tracking card. And what this does is it tells us the layout of the sort of hunt area. It tells us which tile the actual player hunters will start on. But it also gives us some information as to what the actual quarry is on this particular hunt, how many glory points we need to score to be able to say that that hunt was successful, what kind of obstacles are on this particular hunt, and also if we manage to completely clear all of the enemies on the tiles, then what bonus we get as well. So quite a lot of information just on a little card there. And what I've done is I have already chosen randomly our hunt, and so we have this set up, and what it's told us is that we have a watcher that is on this path, and we have a scrapper who's already come some way around on this path. We have some ruins in the corners here, and we have some tall grass in various locations on the board. To which, if a hunter is in the tall grass, then the machines cannot see them. Apart from the scrapper does have an ability that it ignores tall grass. It will be able to see a hunter in tall grass. But we'll explain that a little bit as we go through. So that, in essence, is the tracking phase. Because in the first stage, the fledgling player, which might be the youngest player who's taking part, or maybe the one who's got the least experience, would draw one of the event cards. But we don't have to do that in this first round. So we straight away then go on to the encounter phase, which is the, I guess is the meat of the actual game. And we are now all set up and ready. Now then, let's just explain a few things that we've got on the board. So I thought that you could be a Nora markswoman, maybe, Sarah, is that okay?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so you've got the bow, the hunter's bow, and the Nora spear. And this is you up at the top here. And I'm going to be a Karja warrior. I have a sling and a halberd. So we basically both have a ranged weapon and a melee weapon. What was that? Was that a sneeze?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. I couldn't mute myself in time. It just happened. It snuck up on everyone.
It did. I was like, my goodness, what's that? Good evening, Chris. Welcome. A marks person. Yes, indeed. Well, it says Honora marksman, and yet it's a female character. So a markswoman, a marks person. Yes, we'll go with that.
What if marksman is just her last name?
It could be, couldn't it? Nora Marksman. Yes, indeed. Maybe, she comes from a family of really good archers. Who knows? Okay, we both have a deck of cards to which we have a starting hand of 5 cards. Now, what's really important in the game is that your deck of cards represent your actions. They represent the ammunition that you might be holding for your bow, in your case. They also are, there's some interrupt cards in there, which give you special abilities to be able to stop something and for you to be able to do something. But as you use those cards, they are also effectively your life force. So should you ever get to the point where you have no cards left, then effectively you faint. Your cards can be taken from your pile if you take damage, and they get discarded. But what you're able to do in order to replenish cards back into your deck is you're able to craft. And crafting grants you 3 cards from your discard pile. Typically, you're going to get to do 2 actions in your turn. And you can only do unique actions apart from crafting. Crafting is the one action that you can do twice. So if you wanted to duck down and do nothing and just craft, you could effectively craft 6 cards back into your deck. So that's something to be aware of, to keep an eye on how many cards you've got left in your deck. If you run out, you effectively faint. If we faint collectively twice during the course of this hunt, the hunt is a failure. And that means if you faint twice, or if we faint 1 each, then that's it. So we've got to be aware of that. So the best way to explain this game is actually to just play. But what we'll do, because of course you're not here with me at the table, I'm going to share with you what your cards are initially, so that we can take a look at a card and basically you can start thinking how you might want to use them. So let's take a look at your cards.
Got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we are definitely working together on this. Now, but that's an interesting point. The game is cooperative. We are on the hunt together, but there's only one winner, and the winner is the person who is the best hunter. So as much as we're going to work together, the person who takes out the biggest or the greatest number of quarry is going to probably win the best hunter sort of award and ultimately be the winner. But for the purposes of this live play, yes, most definitely we are helping together. All right, let's we go to this one.
Winner, me, because I get to play a game with Monkey.
Okay, so here we go. I think you've got your pen and paper. You might want to take a note of this. So this is an action card, Sliding Shot. This hunter may make a dodge before checking the range of this attack. If this hunter kills an enemy during this activation, they gain an additional 1 glory point. Remember, it's all about the glory points. Okay. Hunter Arrow. So this is ammunition for your bow. Obviously, to use your bow, you've got to have an arrow. So you do have some ammo. Indeed, you have another piece of ammunition. And a third piece. And a fourth piece. Okay, so you've got lots of ammunition. Now, what you can do at the start of your turn is you can discard any number of cards. Okay.
Do I get those cards back, or are they gone forever?
And then you redraw them. Okay, so you redraw from your pile, but remember, they would then be going into your discard, which means that's part of your life force in some way. But of course, you can craft to bring them back. All right, so that's kind of the cycle of how your cards are going to work their way through. All right, so that's what you're starting off with. Let me just do something, because I realized I haven't done it.
Is your area okay, Monkey? Are you guys dealing with really heavy winds?
It's windy. It's definitely windy.
Okay, just making sure that you're safe and not blowing away.
Yeah. How
Don't like my
you?
neighbor's fence. I've been neighborhood protector today, putting people's bins back in their gardens and stuff because they've been blowing all over the roads, trying to clean up some of it, laying the fence down appropriately so it doesn't blow up and go somewhere that it's not supposed to, since the neighbor's fence is now broken and ripped apart.
Oh no, oh gosh.
And they were all at work, and then I called their rental company, or the one that, that deals with the properties for them, since they were all at work, and I figured nobody knew about it. So I was like, well, I'll call for them. Just being a good neighbor.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Okay, what we're going to do then is I'm going to show you what my cards are. Granted, of course, in a ordinary game, we wouldn't be sharing this information. So let me show you.
Let's be honest, folks. In an ordinary game, neither of us would still remember.
That is true. That is true. Okay. So I have Hit and Run. After resolving an attack, this hunter may perform a 3 sprint action. Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, so you can stab and run.
Stab and run, yeah. I have follow-up. Play after this hunter inflicts a condition with an attack to move into the same square as the target and perform a 3 melee attack. If this attack kills the target, this hunter gains an additional glory point. Oh, that's really cool. That's a cool one, that. And then I have 3 of these. I have freeze bombs for my sling. So this will do damage, and it will also do ice damage as well. And I'll have to check up on that and see how that works out. Okay, so those are my cards. I have some freeze bombs, and I have 2 interesting actions. Okay, so we are effectively in the encounter phase. The turn order is basically players resolve their turns moving clockwise. So we'll start with me, and then we'll go to you, Sarah. And basically what happens is the hunter has a turn, then the enemies have a turn, then it'll go to the next hunter to have a turn, and then we go to a maintenance step to basically see if we have finished that particular hunt. All right. So what can we do during our hunter activation step? We can perform 2 actions. Sneak, which means we can move 1 square, and by moving we will not alert any of the enemies. And this is something about this type of game. If you have played the video game, you know it's all about sneaking, attacking your enemies unawares.
So a 1 movement is considered 1 action, and that 1 movement can be up to 2 spaces, right? Except for a sneak, which is only 1.
Exactly. Well, then there you go.
Okay.
So the next kind of movement action is a sprint. And a sprint allows you to move 2 spaces, and this is orthogonal and diagonal. However, when you sprint, if you pass adjacent to an enemy, or you end your sprint next to an enemy, that enemy switches to an alert stance. And of course, an alert stance means it's very much aware of you there, and when it becomes its activation, it's going to be dealing, it's going to be a lot more ferocious towards you because it knows you're there.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Distract. Now, this is an interesting one. You are able to move.
Hey, look over there.
You are able to move. You're able to target a non-alert enemy 1 square towards a target square. And let me just get the ranges correct on this.
This action, everyone is literally, hey, look over there. And the monster goes, huh?
Oh. Okay, hang on a second, hang on. So, to distract an enemy, the player chooses a target square and a non-alert enemy within 2 squares. So say, for example, if I was here in this tall grass, I can see this enemy here. It's within 2 squares, so that's 1 and 2, because the diagonal counts as well. I could say, okay, I'm going to distract you, and I'm going to make some noise, caw, 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 over here, and that will move the enemy over there. So long as
Can you see him, though, from there? Because
Yes.
that's not diagonal from that square.
Line of sight in the game is so long as there's nothing obscuring you, right? And you can count doing the tiles in diagonal. So this would be diagonal 1 and 2. That's perfectly fine, or 1 and 2. So that's fine as well. You can do movement is orthogonal and diagonal. So yes, so he is within range, and we could distract him to move him over here or over here or over here, because again, he can move diagonally as well. All right. So we've done sprint, we've done sneak. I've told you about crafting, which basically you can take the free cards from your hunter's action discard pile and then put them back into your main pile. Done the distract, and then it's ranged attack, which we'll talk about in a second, and then melee attack. So, what's ranged attack? Let's we'll even though I'm the one who's been starting.
What is the range on my bow?
Your range of your bow is 2, and the range of my sling is 2, so it's nice and convenient. All right, but let's talk about your bow, because that might be a bit easier. Let's go over to here. All right, so we got some information. You can actually upgrade, just like you can in the video game. You can upgrade your weapons. So there's an upgrade slot. We may get to do that by the end of this hunt. We'll see. We have a range of 2. It rolls 2 orange dice. And should we get a critical hit, then that critical becomes 2 points of damage. And hey, let's just do this because we can. Of course, you have got to use some ammunition with your bow. So your ammunition would be your hunter's arrow. So you would be rolling an additional orange dice, but there's no bonus for the arrows if you get a critical. And that's pretty much how ranged combat works. Okay, it's nice and easy, isn't it? Right? You just need to have the ammo to be able to use your bow, which of course makes sense.
And dice rolls. So is it really that easy?
Well, you do know what I'm like with dice rolls, isn't it? So I suppose you might have a valid point. Let's carry on. Melee combat. Melee combat is a range of 0. It means that you need to be in the same space as the actual enemy you're attacking. However, you can be adjacent, and by declaring you're going to do melee combat, you sort of rush on in a heroic type of way, which is quite cool. So this is with your spear, you've got 2 orange dice. If you have any criticals, it counts as 1 pip. And let's just see here, it has a special condition. If you roll a critical, ignore the target's armor when resolving damage. Okay, so that's cool. So
essentially, it could be technically a range of 1. You have to at least be 1 square next to it, but you're going to end up in the same square as the creature.
Exactly, yes. Okay. Yes.
Got it.
Let me just make sure I do have that right. I believe I do.
Oh.
Yes, the hunter selects an enemy in the same or adjacent square. If the enemy is in an adjacent square, the hunter moves into the same square as the enemy. All right. So that is the attacking of both ranged and melee. I guess what we will do then is we will get to how we deal with the enemies attacking when we get to that point. So now it's up to you. I've selected myself as being the leader, but by all means, if you want to be the leader and we'll work it through with you first off, we can do that. Do you want to do that?
Whichever.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's start with you, and then because I'm kind of guiding you through, aren't I? So at least. So
which player tile is mine?
Right. So here we go. So we haven't put ourselves. We were just coming on in. We can see our quarry, but we haven't decided where we are going to approach them from. Now, important point. We can place our hunters anywhere along the edge of this tile.
And which one is the one that we're trying to get the quarry?
Okay, so when we kill the actual machines, there basically is a point value. And this particular hunt requires that we must score 2 points. I can tell you that this watcher, when it's killed, is only worth 1 point, whereas the scrapper is worth 2.
Okay, the big boy. All right.
Yes. The thing is that this watcher, if it is adjacent to this scrapper and it is aware of hunters, it will alert other machines. Okay, so if we want to be sneaky, we might want to try and kill this one quietly first. And it's a bit of a test as well, because of course the damage on this is relatively low. We'll practice on him, and then we'll come here. Now, again, another important point, because you can see the route that these machines take. If we don't do anything to alert these machines, they will quite happily go along their path. So this guy's going to go along here, into here, into here, into here, and then finally off the board. If a machine goes off the board, we've just taken too long, right? It's out of our hunt area, and we've lost it. If both of those machines go off the board, that's the end of our hunt. We have failed. Yeah? This guy is going to go around the board like so, and he's going to come off down at the end, at the bottom of the table here. All right. Now, again, just making sure I've got all the little working parts in. It's one of these games, it's all, like I say, it's very procedural. Once you have gone through it, you'll pick it up straight away. So, if, and I'm just going to use yours as an example, if in this situation you are adjacent to this machine. If you ended your turn, like so, and it is then the machine's turn, because you are adjacent, he can see you. Right? And that being the case, he is alerted to your presence. The only way to hide is to stay in tall grass. They cannot see you, so even if he's adjacent to you, he cannot see you in tall grass. The caveat to that is...
I'm thinking of hanging out in tall grass.
The caveat is the scrapper. The scrapper ignores tall grass. He can see into those. And remember, adjacent is on a diagonal as well. All right?
Right, I think I'm just going to be in that tall grass shooting some bows at some things.
Okay, there is 2 sets of tall grass up at the top here, or at this position along the side. Which one do you want to take?
I'm thinking the left side might be smart.
Where you are. All right, that's fine. I'm going to go up at the top then, because we don't have to necessarily start in the same place. We do have, finally, 2 other sections. These are debris, ruins from a bygone time. Let me just explain what the ruins are. Okay, ruins. So if you end your turn in the ruins, and the enemy is going to make an attack on you during its phase, and when the enemy attacks a hunter in the same square as a ruin marker, instead of making an evade roll, the player removes the ruin marker and ignores the attack completely. So basically what happens is the machine runs at you, the ruins take all of the damage. Okay, but that ruin then is taken off the board, and if it should attack again, then you're going to have to do an evade roll instead or suffer the consequences. All right. Right then. I think we're good, but we'll go through it as we go along. So you can do 2 actions, right?
Hit
it. Now remember, if you hit a machine and you do damage, even if you don't do damage and you've just tried to hit it, that machine instantly goes into an alert mode. Okay?
You won't know where I am.
Well, okay, it won't know where you are, but this watcher, where it is at the moment, while this enemy is alert, any non-alert enemies in an adjacent square become alert at the end of its activation. Enemies alerted in this way do not activate this turn. So
what I need to do is first I need to be like, hey, look over there and make a move.
Well, there you go. I think you're right on that. You got to distract him.
I don't know why you started in that grass, because he's coming towards you.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Hello, Augie. Welcome. It looks complicated, but it's not actually. It's quite, as I say, it's a procedural game, and once you get the flow going, we'll be well away.
Okay, so I'm going to do a distract.
Yes.
And say, hey, look over there, and make him move 1 up. That way he is no longer adjacent.
Okay, so he would go just here.
And then for my second trick, I'm going to shoot.
All right. So
and I guess use one of those ammo cards.
Exactly. So you're going to use your...
But I used it, so it's completely out of the game, not just put back into discard, right?
No, it's in discard. Right?
Okay, so I can get it again.
Yes, exactly. You would craft it. You would make these arrows again. I mean, crafting's a big part of the video game, so this is how it works it through, which is quite clever. So let's just put these just for... as we are learning. So we've got the 2 cards just there. So it's basically saying to us that this shot, it's got to be within 2 spaces. 1, 2. Okay, you are in range. It's going to be 2 orange dice, and then plus an additional orange dice for the actual arrows. All right. So let's give them a roll. Oh, Oh, you see, first roll of the game, and I am true to form.
Did you take a practice roll before this game started?
I didn't. No practice rolls. No.
Well, you should have, because then that would have wasted that roll for us.
It would have, wouldn't it? Okay. So you have one hit against the Watcher there. So let's just make sure we're doing this right. So let's put that bow back. So you're...
I don't care too much for the lag between your rolling your laughter and me seeing what you rolled.
So you've used that arrow. It has hit. We're going to put an alert marker on him just there because he is aware. And we are going to put... Let's just make sure we got the right one. We're going to put a 1 damage marker on him just there. Just so that you know, he has 4 hit points. So we need to do 3 more damage to him. All right. That, in effect, now is your turn over with. Okay, you've done your 2 actions. So we then go to the enemies. And let me get this right. Now we do the enemy that is closest to the current player, which of course is you.
So both players don't get to go first?
No, because what's going to happen is you go, then the enemies go, then I go, then the enemies go, and then we have a sort of resolution phase to see where we're up to. And if we want to carry on, it then goes with you, goes with me, and we keep on doing that until we get to the end of the hunt. All right? So...
Okay.
Let's take a look. Is that another sneeze?
No, I left my warm socks in the laundry room before stream, and it was too late to go get them. I had messaged my husband about it, and I guess he got a break in his game, and he went and got the socks for me.
Oh, that's nice of him. That's nice.
And then he tried to put them both on one foot.
Okay, never mind. Good evening, Christoph. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're just doing the very first throw of, well, it's not even a throw, is it? It's an arrow at a Watcher in Horizon Zero Dawn. And good evening, Mike the Potato.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us.
It's a great name. I love potatoes.
It's an awesome name, isn't it? Okay.
All right, so what is this thing going to do? It's going to attack you because you're closest.
Ooh.
But he can't attack either of us because we're hidden in tall grass. So he's just stupid and doesn't know what's happening.
Oh, well, okay. This is good. Let's ask. Patches of tall grass are a common sight, okay? While a hunter is in tall grass, they don't make non-alert enemies in adjacent squares alert at the beginning of the enemy step. A non-alert enemy which enters the same space as a hunter in tall grass becomes alert. Well, no. He's very aware that you're there because you've attacked him.
Almost 2 years, thanks.
Oh, Christoph, thank you so much.
He's alert, so he can see in the grass. However, he's adjacent to you.
Yes, but you're the one who's attacked him, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're the one closest to him.
Oh, okay. Let me just double check. Ooh,
That's why I was like, well, if I make a move and I hit him, he's going to be next to you. And you were like, oh, it's fine. So I was like, okay. There was witnesses and an entire chat full of them.
Okay. No, I'm gonna double check here. So when activating an alert enemy reference behavioral card, yep.
Like the potato, don't tell him these things.
That's it. He will attack the one. Yes, I think so. So,
I saw nothing.
That's it. The non-alert enemy. Is there a non-alert enemy within 2 squares? Oh, actually, yeah, here we go. Is there a non-alert enemy within 2 squares? So, 1, 2. Yes, there is. Move 1 towards the closest non-alert enemy. I think it's going to go that. Right? Because if there wasn't, it would move towards the closest hunter. Basically, it's a bit of sort of pack mentality, isn't it? It wants to get close to other machines because it's all on its own. So, and of course, it being here will alert. So these come down here. So it's moved there. While this enemy is alert, any non-alert enemies in an adjacent square become alert at the end of its activation. Right? That makes sense. Okay. So non-alert enemy within 2 squares. Choose 1 and 2. Yes, it moves towards the closest non-alert enemy, which is this. That is his turn done. Okay. Now, because it's been triggered, right? It then makes this one alert. All right. So that's now.
How did you decide that that's where that the big robot sits?
How did I decide? It's basically on the actual tiles. It says so. It basically quarry A is the watcher, and it starts here. Quarry B is the scrapper, and it starts here on the tile. And this card tells us the orientation of the tiles as well.
Oh, I thought it was. I was looking at where it said 2A and 5A, and it had those dots in the 2 lower right corners, and I thought maybe that's where they started.
Right? No. But good point. So basically, there are little markers on the actual tiles, and those dots refer to those, and that tells you the orientation of the tile. Because depending on how the tiles are set up, can give you a different experience.
Okay.
It's quite clever.
Thank you.
It's quite clever. Okay. So it is now. So this scrapper, it's now.
Great. I'm gonna die.
It's its activation, and it's going to do. So we've got to take a look at its card. It is now alert. So is a hunter within 1 square?
No.
No, because there's nothing here. So then it goes no. So it goes, can it attack something? Now, is that a range? I think that's a ranged attack. Let me just double check.
Uh-oh, everyone. I don't think I'm very good at this game.
Let me just double check. The enemy performs a ranged attack against the closest hunter. The top number listed is the range of the attack. The bottom number listed is how much damage the attack inflicts. So yes, it is 1, 2. So you are in range, and it's going to do 6 damage. Right? That is how much is going to come at you. But you now need to do an evade. So let's just check on this. It's good, you see. We're getting to learn all of the aspects of the game. So. How do we do an evade? Because ultimately, once we've done this, we've pretty much done everything we need. So resolving the action attack. How do we do the evade? Where's the evade?
Mike the Potato said, R.I.P. Can I play monkey?
I'm not dead yet. Leave me alone.
No, he was saying I'm gonna die. So he's asking if he can play with you in my place because I'm gonna be dead.
You're gonna be dead real soon.
I mean, there's cake for me next door, so I say go for it, Mike the Potato.
Oh. Where? I did have it before. Where does it say evading? Evade.
These creatures look too much like dinosaurs, and after I let that one dinosaur's babies die a lot in that game, I feel like they're gonna come after me no matter what.
That's true, isn't it? That is true. I'm trying to find, because we basically need to, we're going to roll 2 orange dice. I think it might be as simple as that. We roll the orange dice,
Oh no.
Armor. Here we go. Evade dice. Page 37. There we go. So, instead of rolling dice, enemy attacks inflict a fixed amount of damage if the hunter is in range. To avoid suffering this damage, the player controlling the target hunter makes an evade roll, rolling a number of dice equal to the number shown on their hunter's armor card. For each hit rolled, reduce the damage suffered by the hunter by 1. If the hunter rolls a critical hit, apply the listed effect in the same way as an attack and reduce the damage suffered by the attack value. Okay, that's nice and easy. After a player has resolved how much damage their hunter has suffered and has discarded any cards from their hand and or action deck, the hunter must dodge by moving to an adjacent square of their choice. This dodge represents their desperate dive away from the opponent's attack and must be resolved even if the hunter doesn't suffer any damage or effects. Alright, so you have 2 dice. If you get a critical, it is worth a value of 3. And it is doing 6 damage against you. So, let's hope we're good with the dice here. We want to be good with the dice, don't we? Oh!
Well, we wanted you to be good with the dice in our first time, monkey.
Okay, well look, that's a good roll. So you've got 4 points. So you've absorbed 4 points of that damage. Only 2 points come on in. So that being the case, you lose. We'll just do this over here. You lose 2 cards. 1, 2. Done. All right.
Them forever?
Well, again, it's not necessarily forever. They're in your discard, and if you craft, you could get those cards back. All right. But now you need to move one space. So where are you going to go?
Away from them.
So you're going to move backwards, back over to here, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Go back. Yeah, up one.
Yeah. So that does that. And let's now just double check. Yes. So this enemy only... So it has what we call conditional sort of instructions. So if it couldn't have done the first one, it would move to the second one, which would have said move 2 towards the closest hunter. But since it's done that, right, it's now finished. So we can put that back there. It now goes to my turn. So, let's see. Now, this Watcher is actually now going to be harder for me to kill. Because now that it's aware, it now has an armor value. It's only 1 point, but it's going to make it a little bit harder. So whatever damage I do, I'm going to deduct 1 from it. What am I going to do? I am going to use my... Well, do I want to use my sling? I could move 1 and then do a melee attack, couldn't I? But that would maybe put me... It would put me in range for this guy, wouldn't it? I'm just going to use the sling. So let's just take a look at this. So we have my sling, which is within 2 spaces. 1, 2, that's fine. It's going to be 1 orange dice. But I'm going to use the freeze bomb, which adds a black dice to it as well. Oh, yeah, that is correct. So let's just roll these and let's see what we get. Typical. Okay, so I get a critical hit with the freeze bomb. So what does this do? It says discard. I'm trying to see what that says. Let me look in the back just to make sure. There's lots of icons. Inflicts freeze condition. Hunters discard critical hits in their first evade roll. Ignore enemy armor for the first attack. What's this going to do? Maybe I should have gone first. So, if an enemy has a freeze token at the start of the hunter's attack, the hunter ignores the enemy's armor value when resolving damage and discards the token. Ah, so I would have been able to do damage and not had to worry about the armor, but because I only just did a freeze and didn't actually do any damage, then that really just wasn't that good at all, was it? Alright, so we got to put a freeze token.
Had you rolled better the first time, it might not even be alive.
Ooh. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have rolled any better either. But that's our luck. It's alright. We'll make it work.
There we go. So we got a freeze token just there. Alright. So I'm going to put that back. Going to discard that card. It's already alert. It's only got 1 point of damage. Right? So we then go to its behavior. Its behavior. Is there a non-alert enemy within 2 squares? Well, no. This enemy is now alert. So it's going to go move 1 towards the closest hunter. It's going to move to here. So that's its behavior. This guy. Is a hunter within 1 square? No. So can it attack a hunter within 2 squares? 1, 2. No, it can't. So it moves 2 towards the closest hunter. We're gonna so die. 1, 2. Oh my goodness.
Easy mode?
This is easy mode. This is easy
mode.
Okay.
Maybe this whole time we were supposed to be like sneaking around the map. Maybe that's what was supposed to happen instead of us just being like, shoot it.
Well, maybe we should have planned our hunt a little better. All right. What can we do? So now we go to the maintenance step. I'm going to have to just go through this, make sure we get it right.
Yeah, it's not your dice rolls. It's just me being like, let's just shoot it.
I'm going to blame you. So here we go. Maintenance. So check to see if the hunting party has reached as many faints as there are hunters. Remember when I said if we lose up all our cards, we faint? Well, we haven't fainted, so we're okay. Check to see if the hunting
game.
check to see if the hunting party has achieved minimum number of encounter points. We haven't killed anything, so most definitely not. Check to see if it's still possible to complete the encounter. Well, maybe.
No.
Okay. So
it is not.
So that being the case, we carry on and it goes back to your turn. Okay. Now, if it's going to go back to your turn, I think we do draw up to 5 cards, don't we? Because that is the very first thing you do as soon as you start the turn. Just double check, make sure. At the start of a hunter's activation, a player may discard any number of cards from their hand. After deciding to discard cards or not, they then draw up to their maximum hand size from their activation deck. So yes,
Okay,
so you could.
I draw a card.
So you can draw a card, or you could get rid of some of your cards and then draw back up to 5. What do you want to do?
I'll just draw 1 card.
Just going to take the 1 card. All right. Critical hit. Play after this hunter destroys a component to draw a card from the salvage deck. We haven't talked about components, and maybe we might not get there. But basically, this scrapper, we can do damage on the actual scrapper, but also we can target individual areas just like you do in the video game and do damage on those. And by doing the damage on the components, you weaken its attacks or weaken its defenses. But what you get is glory points for doing those targeted attacks, which of course, in the grand scheme of this game, the more glory points you've got, the more closer you are to being the actual winner. We might not worry too much about that. We might just want to survive. but that's how you would go about it. So it's not just a case of killing the quarry, it's killing it with style. But we'll see.
I have a plan. I know what I want to do.
Okay, now there's one thing that I forgot to mention, which I didn't use mine during my turn, so we're both even. You do actually have a special ability as a Nora marksman. You're accurate, so when targeting components with a ranged attack, you may re-roll any number of dice. Okay.
Monkey!
You couldn't have done it against the Watcher because it doesn't have any components, but against the Scrapper who does, that is a bonus that you're able to use.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So it's something to bear in mind. Again, it's we're going. I'm not going to say this is the advanced part of the combat, but it's more advanced than what we've done so far, isn't it? But it'll be something you get used to as you play the game. So come on, then. What are you going to do?
I'm going to move 2 spaces down.
So you're going to run.
No, I'm just going to move. I'm not going to sprint.
No, that is. You basically you either sneak or you sprint. That's the only 2 forms. It doesn't actually matter because these machines are already alert, so it's absolutely fine. So it would be a sprint. You run all the way down here, and you are now on top of these ruins. Okay, so defensively, you're in a better position than I am.
Okay.
Okay, so that's really good. What next?
That was my 2 turns, right?
I see. I see. No. So basically, you can only
one sprint.
Yeah. So you can only do an action once, apart from crafting. So if you were to sneak, you could only sneak 1 space, right? And then you would have to do something else. But if you want to get all the way here, it is 1 action, that is sprint, which allows you to do 2 spaces.
Okay, so I used up my 2 actions just to get there?
No, you've just used up 1 action, so you've got another action left.
But I can't sneak, but I can't sprint again.
You can't sprint again, but you could sneak for 1 space.
I'll sneak.
And where are you sneaking to?
Diagonally 1.
Oh, okay. So you're coming down down here. You are literally leaving me.
Am I though? Because they're still both in range of 2 from me, so I'm not leaving you. I'm just trying not to die.
Okay. Right. So it then goes to the machines.
Like, do I still wish you the best in your endeavors? Of course I do. Am I still like, crap, gotta save my own butt? Yes, I am.
Goodness me. Okay. So basically, they are of equal. You're awful. They're of the same range, aren't they? So 1, 2, 1, 2. I guess. What should we start with? Who's going to be the most alert? I suppose this Scrapper was next to you as you sped past. So let's deal with him first, hey? So, looking at his...
Too bad I can't use the card.
What card, sorry?
Oh, no, I can't, because I already used up my 2 actions.
You've done your 2 actions, yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it goes to the Scrapper. He is definitely alert. I just want to just double check something. What happens? How do you get an enemy to go back to sort of passive?
Cookies.
Or maybe you don't. Okay, once an enemy becomes alert, it cannot return to a non-alert state for the remainder of the encounter. So these are always going to be alert. All right, well that's easy for our management. It's because this encounter is supposed to be working so quickly. So here we go. Looking at the scrapper, hunter within 1 square. Yes. Move towards closest hunter.
Me?
Well, you're 2 squares away. 1, 2. I'm 1 square away.
I said not me.
Not you, yes. No. Now, let me just double check. Because enemies always perform mandatory actions if able. And does it do it in order? I think it does. Which would just be typical, wouldn't it? So it's going to do that one. I think it's yes, it's going to do the whole lot, isn't it? Oh my goodness me. Okay, so move 1 towards the closest hunter. Into there, into the tall grass. It is going to do a melee attack against me, which is a damage of 4. So I've got to do an evade. So as a Karja warrior, when making an evade roll that only contains orange dice, you may roll an extra orange, then discard a single die of your choice. Well, that's cool. And I only have an orange die. So I have this 1 die. It's going to do 4 damage against me. Let's see what we get. So I get 1 point. You may roll an extra. Oh, I can roll an extra one. Sorry, I should be rolling another one. There's 1 point. Thank you, Mike the Potato. Yeah, good. Yeah. Hey, there we go. So I've got my 2 dice, but I got 2 there. I've got a 1 there. I'm going to discard the 1. I'm going to take the 2, which means it's done 2 points of damage against me. I discard 2 cards from my life deck. That's done. And then move 1 away from the closest hunter. Okay, so it's going to go grrr and move back 1. That does the scrapper. It is now the watcher.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, Sarah, we're going to have some serious words after this. You've just left me high and dry.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to go get cake after this.
So, the Watcher, non-alert enemy within 2 squares, which would be this guy. No, he's alert, so move 1 towards the closest hunter. In he comes, with all his little tokens. Okay, and he is doing 4 points of melee damage against me. Again, I can do this 2 dice roll. Let's do that. I'm going to get rid of the blank and take the 2. I lose 2 cards. 1, 2. So, just so you're aware, other than the 4 that are in my hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 cards left to my life. That's all that's left. And he just stays there. Alright. My goodness. So, it is now my turn. And I am going to sprint. So I'm going to go 1, 2. And then I'm going to sneak 3. That's pretty much all I can do in my turn. I just need to get out of the way. Alright, so again, we get to the maintenance phase. We take a look. Have we fainted? No. Have we scored enough points? No. Back over to you. What are you going to do? Remember, you can Oh, hang on a second. It's not over to you. It's over to me, isn't it? Oh, no, hang on. I should have drawn a card up. Sorry, I do apologise. I should have drawn a card up before I moved.
You moved, so you would.
Right, and then I moved. So my movement's still correct, but I have drawn a card up. So I've got 4 cards left. I need to do some crafting. I need to get some cards back into my deck, otherwise I will faint. But it's over to you then.
I guess that I could sneak into the square with you
1,
and then
2,
shoot the
3,
little guy.
4, 5. Okay, you've got 5 cards, so you're still good. Did you want to discard any before we get started, or
No.
No. Okay.
I want to sneak into the thing with you.
You want to sneak into the thing with me, so that's moving of 1.
And then we're going to shoot the thing in front of us.
Well, he's 1, 2, he's 3 away from you. You can't, he's out of range.
Oh.
Should we take you back there, just in case you might want to re-decide what you're going to do?
I guess then I will sneak 1 diagonal, so then I can shoot it.
Oh, but remember, you don't have to move towards him. You can get him to move towards you.
Oh?
Do the distract. Oh, but hang on a second.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. He has to be 2 away, doesn't he? Hang on. I'm wrong on that. Move
Distract
target.
within 2 is what I wrote down.
Yeah, I think it is, yes. So
I think within 2, you can move him within 2 spaces.
Let me just double check.
I think is what I wrote down.
Let me just double check. Distract. Distract an enemy. A player chooses a target square and a non-alert enemy within 2 squares of the hunter.
Ah, poop.
Yeah, so it's the same
So
difference.
I'll
yeah.
have to sneak into 1 diagonal in front and shoot the little guy.
Why don't you? Can I suggest something? Why don't you go 1 diagonal to go into the ruins, just in case you're going to take any damage? You're protected, and you then are you're still 2 away from both of those now.
All right, then I'll still shoot at the little guy.
You're going to shoot at the little guy. All right. So what have we got? You're going to use your hunter's arrow.
I have an ammo. Yeah.
Yeah, you got plenty of that. And yes, Chris, the game has crafting. It's a very good tabletop representation of the video game. That is really well thought out. Okay, so
Come on, dice rolls.
yeah, so basically we've got 3 orange dice. Your bonus as a markswoman does not do any advantage here, but let's put that back there. We know that we've used this.
Oh, Chris. Oh, Chrisum.
Crafting! Come on. Well, we've done 2 points of damage. So if you roll now, unfortunately, remember, because he's alert, he has an armor value now. Oh, but hang on. He has the freeze damage. So he doesn't. So you get 2 points of damage against him. That's great. So now does that mean you lose the freeze damage now? It would seem right. Let me just double check.
And how many hits does he need to die?
He needs 4, so you just need to have 1 more.
Oh.
I know. It's We're getting close. Where is it? Where is it? Freeze. Okay, if the enemy has a freeze token at the start of the hunter's attack, the hunter ignores the enemy armor value when resolving damage, then discards the token. Yes. So that is now gone. But hey, you managed to get a couple of hits against him, which is great. Okay, so we go over to the machines. And so again, we're looking at the scrapper. Is a hunter within 1 space? 1, 2. No, it's not. So it's going to blast you. It has a ranged attack, and it's within 2. 1, 2. Right? Now, let me just double check, because I think it's any attack, isn't it? Not just Just double check. So, ruins. When an enemy attacks a hunter in the same square as a ruin marker, instead of making an evade roll, the player removes the ruin marker and ignores the attack completely. So, boom! This old car is destroyed, but you do not have to worry about that attack. That is it.
Success.
Yes, no, it's brilliant. And then I think that's it, isn't it? Yes, because it does one or the other. Enemies only perform the first conditional action and then skip the rest. Yes, so it's done its shot. That's it. The scrapper is done. We then go to the Watcher. So move one towards the closest hunter. So he's going to go boom. And we'll move all of those with it. All right. That's you done. Over to...
Shoot him!
Well, I can shoot him, can't I? 1, 2, easy. But I'm going to craft. So what I do is I go to my discard pile, and I take the bottom 3 cards.
Unacceptable. Shoot him.
I'm going to. I can do this by turn. I've got 2 actions. So there's 3 cards. I take the 3 cards. I put them in my deck, and I just give it a quick shuffle. It's just that I've got a bit of life now, which is what I need. And that's good. So, and just so that you're aware, I think you're doing all right. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. You've got 8 cards. Plus your 5, so that's your sort of health. Okay, so I've done 1 action to craft. Then I'm going to shoot. Quite right, but ooh. It's because these freeze bombs, okay, they do good. This is where we need to be working together, don't we? It's kind of, I need to freeze it, and then you need to do the damage, yeah? But let's see, have I got anything else? So, after a player inflicts a condition with an attack. Play after this hunter inflicts a condition with an attack. What's a condition? A condition must be... Yes, it's a freeze. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I'm going to use my sling with my freeze bomb, and I'm also going to use my follow-up. So, play after this hunter inflicts a condition with an attack to move into the same square as the target and perform a free melee attack. If this attack kills the target, this hunter gains 1 additional glory point. Oh, or maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to hope.
Yeah, because you're not moving in the square. You were staying back.
Yeah, actually, I don't want to do that. I want to save that for this guy. Let's just do this. Maybe I won't get the kill, but we'll see. So I'm going to do... It's within 2, 1, 2, that's fine. I've got an orange, and I've got the black dice as well. Okay? All I need to do is get a critical... all I need is 2 points, isn't it? Let's see. Let's see what we get. Oh! There is 1 point of damage. But he's alert. He has armor. So... Yeah, he just doesn't... Yeah. Sorry. I've not helped there. Not helped. It's just me and my infamous dice rolls, isn't it? Ah, okay.
Hey, Roger.
Hello,
okay,
Roger.
so now it's my turn? Or no, it's their turn?
It's their turn. It's their turn.
Oh, son of a gun. Okay.
So it's going to be the Watcher because it's closer. So it's going to move towards the closest hunter, which is you.
This is stressing me out. I had to grab some puppies.
So you're in there. It's going to do a melee attack of 4. All right?
No!
But you have
Unacceptable!
But you have 2 orange dice. You've got 2 orange dice, which if you get a critical on this, that's 3 points. So if you get 2 criticals, then you've managed to completely dodge out the way and everything's happy days. Okay? So
Too bad I can't use my dodge card.
oh, well hang on. Have you got a card? This hunter may make a dodge before checking the range of this attack. No, that's got nothing to do with it. No, so your two special cards are not going to help. So here we go. We're just going to have to roll this dice. You want 2 criticals, ideally. Hey ho! Exclamation ruined. So unfortunately, you lose 4 points of damage. So we take it out of your life deck. Here was me telling you, oh, you got loads of cards in your deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They're gone.
That's why I've pulled the dogs next to me so I could just sit here and pet them. Everything is going to be fine. There's going to be cake after this. It's okay.
All right, we then move on to the Scrapper. The Scrapper, hunter within 1 square. No, it is able then to target you with a range of 2. It's going to do 6 points of damage. So here we are.
Y'all, this ain't even a game anymore.
So we are. Hey, you were fine when it was me getting all the attention.
I was getting hit at the first time too.
What's that? What's the A for? Oh, I see. Okay. I've just worked something out. So here we go. So ideally, 2 criticals is what we want. Here we go. Whoa! There we go. So you've got a critical, so you're only taking 3 points of damage. It has a great big sort of, laser cannon-y type thing. 1, 2, 3. You got 1 card left. Okay. Monkey needs a rect command. Yes, I think you're right. Okay, so we have come now to the end of the activation. Again, we have a quick look. Is anyone fainted? No. Is anybody... are we winning? No. So it is your turn. Now, you've literally got 1 card left in your reserve.
Nice to pick it up.
So basically, what would happen now, I'm just going to sort of go through this. So, yeah, hang on. So you've got 1, 2, 3, you got 4. So it would make sense that you got to pick that one up, which is 5, which is some more arrows. All right. If you now take damage more than the 5 cards that are in your hand, you would faint because you've got no reserves. All right. So this is where you would potentially want to do some crafting to put 3 cards.
Or do I want to shoot and dodge?
Well, okay, all right. So here we go. So let's see what you've got here. Let's see what we can do. So play this after a hunter destroys a component. No, we're not going to worry about that. Sliding shot, which of course is part of the actual game. This hunter may make a dodge before checking the range of this attack. If this hunter kills an enemy during this activation, they gain 1 additional glory point. This hunter may make a dodge before checking the range of the attack, which would mean, I think that is a case of, you would move 1, wouldn't you? Right? So you're heroically leaping out of the way, right? And then doing your attack, and if you are successful, you will get an additional glory point because you basically killed that monster with style.
That card includes a hit. I don't have to, as like all in one action.
No. This is an additional. This is a bonus. So you'd have to play that along with your hunter's arrow, which is taking you down to 3 cards.
Right, but here's my thing, though, is that if I do it that way, would I not dodge 2 out of the way?
What? Why 2?
I don't know. I don't know how far we can dodge.
You dodge by 1. Remember, whenever we did a dodge before, you had to move your. Oh,
so.
Oh. You've just taken hits. You would have moved automatically. I made a little mistake there.
I would have gotten to move away?
Yeah. Remember when you took the hit before and you had to move?
Yeah, drop me down 1.
So you would have come down here. Which... Oh, hang on a second. Because you took damage off him, we're going to have to backtrack this a little bit. You took damage off him, which would meant that you would have had to move. He was here, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Which then means... Let's have a look. Move 1 towards the closest hunter. He would have come here, right? But not been able to attack you. So, in fact, some of those cards... So, how many did he do? He did 1 damage against you, didn't he? By that roll. So, those cards can go back, and you have your top card back there. Hang on, I said you had 8 cards, and I took away 6. Or was it 6, or was it 4? I'm just going to give you a couple more cards. Because we kind of messed up there. But at least you got a little bit of breathing room. There you go. We'll work with that. Okay, so it's a slightly different situation. What are you going to do?
So if I shot him where he's at and killed him, would the other guy still come at me?
1, 2... No, because he cannot see you, so he's going to then move 2. So he would come up to here, but he wouldn't be able to attack. Monkey's not trying to get Sarah killed, not at all.
I don't know if I should move back 1 and then attack.
There's no reason why not, is there? Because
if I moved back 1 diagonally and then shot, could I do that?
Yes. And you'd go here. That's still 1, 2. That's still within your range. That's absolutely fine.
Okay, I'll go there, and now let's shoot with an ammo. Okay,
so let's. Now, okay, well, again. You see, it's up to you. That glory point, if you kill him, you're going to get 1 glory point because you've killed him, and if you use the sliding shot, you'd get a 2nd glory point, which could mean that you could end the encounter because you've got the 2 points that are needed to end it. Well, you don't necessarily have to kill this.
I can't use the 2nd card because I moved.
No. Oh, no, sorry. So actions, you can only do 2 actions. Cards, you can use as many as you've got in your hand. There's no limit to the amount of cards.
Yeah, but what are the odds I'm going to kill it with this shot? Let's be honest.
Well, then that's kind of... Yeah, okay. That's
Same,
a fair
Chris.
Point.
Same.
Stop it, you two. Honestly. Right,
what are we like?
What are you like, yes. Okay, so we got 3 dice. You're taking a shot with your arrow. Roger, don't join in as well. Well, there you go. So, typical me, 1 dud and 2 hits. It has got 1 armor, so you get 1 hit through, so you have done the 4 points of damage needed.
Well, yeah, because we took away that other card.
So?
Because we took away the other card and we were like, oh, we're not going to use that one, so then I do kill it.
Yes, of course, yeah. But you only get now, so it is dead. You get 1 glory point. So 1 point for you. Da, da, da. And you get 1 salvage card. Okay, what do you get? You get a machine lens. Now, in the game, as in this game, as in the video game, as we mentioned before, there is crafting, but also there are merchants, and we have merchant decks along the side here. And when we get to the point where we stop an encounter and we make up camp and we pause for a moment, we're able to go to merchants and basically upgrade our weapons with new cards. And of course, the salvage that we've managed to collect from killing the machines, we use that as currency to basically pay for new and enhanced weapons, which is great. Again, it's fantastic how they've incorporated all the sort of themes of the video game into this sort of tabletop experience. It's really good. Okay, so well done. Well, you've done. I can't say it's first blood because these are machines, aren't they? So, but you've done the first kill. That's really good. So we go over to the machines, and so this machine is basically looking. Is there a hunter within 1 square? No, there's not. There's nothing to target within 2 squares, so he's going to move 2 towards the closest hunter. So 1, 2. There he is. First fluids, first oil. Yes, let's go with that. Okay. It is me.
Everybody does appreciate my setup for Monkey, correct? Good.
Yeah, whatever. How much? I've got an interesting swirly icon. What does that mean? Hunter moves 1 square. 3 damage, and I get to move 1. I think that must mean I move 1 out of range, don't I? I'm only going to do 3 damage against it. You know what? I'm going to do it because we haven't done any melee combat from the hunters. So let's give that a go. Melee, melee, melee. Hunter performs a melee attack. Selects an enemy. Yeah, we're good with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use my halberd, which is now. So it means I automatically come on into the space. I am using an orange and a blue dice. If I get any criticals, I do 3 points of damage and I get to jump out of the space, which is quite cool. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to use the follow-up. Oh, actually, that's no good. That doesn't work. I'm going to you do the hit and run. After resolving an attack, this hunter may perform a 3 sprint action. Right, so that gets me out of the way. And I'm also anatomical precision. After this hunter makes an attack, they may reduce the damage inflicted by 1 to draw 2 cards from the salvage deck, then keep 1 and discard the other. So it's a chance for me to be able to move out of the way, but also to draw up some cards that I've discarded. But it's optional. It's up to me whether I want to do it, which is good. So let's roll these and let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, typical. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It kind of works. So we got 3 points of damage against this scrapper. It has a hit value of, gosh, it's got 8. So it's 2 points against it because it's got 1 armor. So we've done 2 points. After this hunter, they may. I'm going to discard that regardless. I'm not going to use it. After the hunter did an attack, it may do a free sprint action. So we're going to peg it. 1, 2. Oh, actually, no. Hang on. 1, 2. I'm going to come here. That makes sense, doesn't it? So we've done that. So that was my first action, wasn't it? I'm going to craft then for my second action, which gives me 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And we put those into my deck, and we give my deck a quick shuffle. Okay, done. So I've got a little bit of life to me, which is good, but we do have quite an annoyed scrapper. So it's now, I've done my actions, it's his turn. Is there a hunter within 1 square? No. So he is going to target. He's going to target me because I'm the one who has just pissed him off. So he is going to do range of 2, 1, 2, that's correct. But of course that attack is going to destroy these ruins, and we don't have to deal with the attack. It is over to you. You have got 1, 2, 3. You got 4 cards, so we'll draw up another card for you. More arrows. Obviously, we can see where you lean into. What are you going to do then?
I'm gonna.
Because effectively, again, you can only do it once, can't you? Sorry, I was going to say you could have fired twice, but you can't. You can only do ranged once. But here we go. Remember, when targeting components with a ranged attack, you may re-roll any number of dice. So we haven't really talked about the component side of the game, have we? So let's just quickly do that. So you can see the card here for this scrapper. And basically, it has 2 components. It has a power cell, and it has its radar. Now, we don't need to, the radar sort of side of it, we don't need to worry about too much because it would disable its radar sweep, which means that if we were in tall grass, it wouldn't be able to find us. Okay, but that's only when it's not alert. And of course, it's very much alert, it's very much aware, so we don't need to worry about that. The power cell, if we destroy that, it means it cannot do its ranged attack, which it keeps on doing on us. Alright? But ultimately, so you can either target one of those, and there is a certain number of damage that you are able to do. It's going to take 4 points of damage to destroy the power cell. You need to get at least 2 points to do half the damage. If you got 3 points, you've still only done half the damage. 4 points is a complete destruction of it. All right, but ultimately, 8 points is to destroy the complete machine. We've already got 2 points against it, but remember, if you were to destroy components, you get additional glory points. So it's up to you, but you remember you're able to re-roll any number of dice if you target a component, but you've got to basically say, I'm targeting a component.
Can't shoot twice.
You can't shoot twice.
2 actions.
Nope. And just to remind you, you have 2 cards left in your life. He would potentially, if he attacks, he does 6 points of damage in ranged and 4 points as melee.
I'd almost want him to come close.
You don't want him to come close.
No, you said because melee, he hits me for 4.
It hits you for 4,
Whereas
yeah.
ranged, he hits me for 6. So
Yeah.
it's better if he hits me from far or from close.
Well, this is true. Now, let's just have a look. So let's see what he would do. I'm just going to put that there now because we're probably not going to deal with this side of the board, are we? So, if there is a hunter within 1 square, well, we're at 2 squares, aren't we? So he's going to then just shoot from that location. So, unless you moved closer to him, he is always going to shoot.
Right, that's the thing, but I want him to hit me for 4, not 6. So I need to move 1 and then shoot him.
Yes, exactly. That's, yeah.
All right, so let's move up 1 diagonal, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Shoot him.
Shoot him. Okay, shoot him. So you are going to use your arrows, which is then 3 orange dice. And are you just targeting him generally, or are you going to go for a component?
Should probably go for a component, and then that way I can re-roll.
Well, we haven't done it, so let's give it a shot, hey? Yeah? And why don't you go for the power cell? Because if you get the power cell, he will not be able to shoot back if you manage to destroy it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. Let me just double check, make sure I get this correct.
Oh, sorry, my mic wasn't down. Ha!
So components. Because we are sort of learning, aren't we, as we go along. So we go attacking a component. So it's the tear value. So when performing an attack against an enemy, a player may declare their hunter is targeting a component location on that enemy before any dice are rolled. The attack sequence is follows as normal, including reducing the damage by the target's armor value, but any damage inflicted by the attack is compared to the component location's tear value instead of applying damage to the enemy. If the damage inflicted is equal to or exceeds the tear value, the component is destroyed. The hunter performing the attack gains 1 glory point and places a destroyed token within the corresponding letter next to the enemy. Immediately resolve any rules listed on the card. Any excess damage is lost and isn't carried across. Destroyed component can't be attacked again. Okay. A component's tear value indicates how robust it is. If the damage inflicted is equal to or more than half the tear value of the component component is damaged. A damage token is placed next to it, okay? Now, but does that mean, so the tear value is the 1, yeah, I got that. The 2 is component damage value. Right, so yes, it is part of the greater machine. Okay, I get it, right, that's cool. So basically, if we destroy the components within it, their total value is worth 4. And then 4 additional hits on the general creature would destroy it. So it's got to have a total of 8. So if you go for the... well, that's interesting. So... Well, here you go. You got the choice. If you go for the power cell, it means that he would not be able to use his blasty cannon. Okay? And but you need to get over 4 points of damage to destroy it. But that only... I
don't think I can do that.
Okay. So the radar, you only need to get 2 points of damage to destroy it. But it gives you 2 damage in general. So in fact, it might be worth targeting the radar, even though it serves us no benefit, but there's more chance of you destroying it, and hence
Let's
then...
do that.
Yeah? Okay. So you're using the arrows. So it was 3 of the orange dice. All right, let's give that a go. So all we need is 2 or more. Oh, but actually, it's 3 or more, isn't it? Because of the armor that it's already got. Oh! Come on.
So that's 4. I did it.
There should be some whooping. So
There is no whooping, monkey, because I'm dying.
you're not dying. So you have done. Yes, no, you've done it more than enough. That which is great. So you've got more than 2. You've completely destroyed the radar. So what we do is we put a. Let's get this right. We put a B on here, which means that the B function has been destroyed. And we put 2 of these, one of there. There we go. So we got 4 points against it. And because you've destroyed it, oh, you're going to so win this. You get yourself a glory point because you're just cool. You just targeted that bit, and you've done great. Okay, so that was your attack. You've still got. Oh, hang on. Did you move? You moved, didn't you?
No, I moved.
You moved, and then you attacked. So that's your turn done. So it is his turn. A hunter within 1 square. Yes. Move towards the closest hunter. So he's going to come over to you. He's going to do 4 points of damage, but you get to do your dodge. It's 2 orange dice. So let's give that a go. Oh, there you go. Look, look, look. We're getting to the end of the game, and actually I'm getting some good rolls now.
Oh.
So you lose 1 card. That's not too bad. You can survive that. And then what it does is it moves away, move 1 away from closest hunter, which would pretty much be back to there, wouldn't it? Can be. I suppose it keeps its options open. So there you go. That's you done. It's my turn. I have 3 cards. I need to draw up 2 more. What do we have? Oh, we got something interesting. Oh, Blazing Strike. If the target is suffering a condition at the start of this attack, inflict an additional 2 damage. Right, so that's telling me I need to use my freeze bomb, don't I? I'm going to do my ranged attack with my sling. I'm going to use my freeze bomb. So I have an orange. I have a black. Let's just roll this and see what we get. Oh! Okay. So we've got the black. Okay, I've got the black, which means we put the freeze on. So the freeze has gone on. Discard. I want to try and. What does that? I'm trying to see what that symbol is so I understand. It says discard something to inflict freeze. So having freeze on means that his armor doesn't take effect now. There's a little icon and I can't work out. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're just going to say that that's being done. So it's a freeze, and it did 1 point of damage. So how would that work? I think the 1 point of damage wouldn't happen because he has 1 armor, doesn't he? But in the next attack, the freeze would negate the armor. So that's kind of how we're going to go with that. So here we go. Play this after a hunter inflicts a condition with an attack to move into the same square as the target and perform a 3 melee attack. So I'm just going to play that card. So I've managed to do the freeze on him. That's correct. So I can just skip straight over here. If this attack kills the target, this hunter gains 1 additional glory point. So we're gonna give it a go. So use that to skip into there. And then I'm going to do Blazing Strike. If the target is suffering a condition at the start of this attack, inflict an additional 2 damage. I should probably keep those cards just so I know what's going to go on. So if I win, I get a glory point, and I'm going to get 2 additional damage. So I'm doing my halberd, which is an orange and a blue. All right, let's do this. Come on, come on. Oh, okay. So that's 4 points of damage. Because he's frozen, he doesn't get to do his armor, so that's 4 points straight on in. So I'm going to take the 1 away and replace it with a 5.
Just punched him straight in the face.
Oh yeah. If the target is suffering a condition, which it was, at the start of his attack, inflict 2 additional damage. So we get 2 extra points in. 1, 2. That freeze now goes. Well, that is 1, 2. That's 7, 8, 9. That's 10. That is completely smoked. So that is gone. Use that card. And this attack did kill it. So I get 1 additional glory point. So I get... Where's my glory points? I get 1 point for being slightly awesome. And then I get 2 points for the actual kill itself. Making 3 points. And it is dead.
Chrisum has kindly asked you to stop saying glory point.
It's because Chris's mind is constantly, perpetually.
No, it's because we all hear glory hole every single time. I get 1 glory hole for being cool. I get 2 glory holes for killing the monster.
I don't understand. What's a glory hole?
Well, monkey.
So there we go. So
when 2 strangers love each other very much.
Okay. So there we go. So that then defeats that machine, to which we then go to the maintenance phase, and we ask the question, have we got enough points now to end this encounter? And of course the answer is yes, and that would then end this encounter. All right.
I don't know how we did it. Oh my god.
But so, just so you're aware, that's the start of 4 encounters like this. Okay. And then on the 5th encounter, which is this red card here, we go up against the main adversary of the game. I'm just going to go to this. And it is the Sawtooth. I think this is one of the big bosses that you meet in the video game relatively early on. And this miniature, it's big, but this is not the biggest that is within the greater scheme of the game. There are many expansion packs for Horizon Zero Dawn, and some of the models, they get huge. They get really, really big. So to give you an idea, you know, there's the Hunter. So it is big compared to the Hunter, but it is small compared to some of the other machines that are in this world. Okay.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was just, it's difficult. It's not easy, but that's a good thing for a game not to be super easy, because then it becomes not fun.
Yes, absolutely. And also remember, we've got to be kind to ourselves. It's the first time we've played it, and it's always the way on the first time, isn't it? We're trying to get used to the rules and used to the flow of the game. I think we would play it slightly differently next time round, because we might work a little bit closer as a team, because that's the idea to some degree, but also a little bit competitive of, hey, I want to get that final blow because I'm going to get more points from it. Also, using your cards to get the bonuses of those extra points. So I've just scraped through. Though really, Hunter of this encounter was you. You got those points fair and square. I was just very, very lucky on that final attack. You did a lot of the work for me.
I loosened the jar lid for you.
Did, absolutely.
I mean, and with this game, being the first time, we're all a bit hesitant, not really knowing much about the glory hole. I mean, glory points.
Exactly. You're terrible. Chat, absolutely terrible.
Chat knows every single person in chat. Every single time you say glory points, we are all thinking it in our heads. They're going, please don't call it that.
So what would happen next is we would set up camp, and we could use some of the points. I should have got some salvage. What would I get? I'd get 2 salvage cards. I'd get some salvage. I get myself a machine lens.
It's a lovely looking game. The figures even look like they're pretty pretty.
They are, yes, and I've seen examples of where they've been painted up, and they do look really, really good. The machines are definitely the highlight. Some of the machines that you can get, it's well worth going to the Steamforged Games website. Go and check out all of the expansion packs, because some of them they have one which it's probably about this big on the board, maybe even this big. It's huge. It's huge. It's a big monster. They've got one which is a winged flying creature that probably takes up 4, but its wingspan goes much greater. So if you've played the game, you're going to recognize a lot of the quarry that you are trying to hunt. So what would happen next is once we've gone to some merchants, we've managed to equip ourselves and replenish, but also let's just bring this on so you can see. Each hunter has a skill tree, and you're able to then bring on in additional cards that give you better abilities. So maybe weapons or traits. So we start off with 16 cards, and then you add an additional 2, and you can get yourself up to 22 cards when you're into level 3. So that then gives you a bonus. So your character develops over the course of the actual hunt, which is quite neat. And then what would happen is we would then go to the next encounter, and one of us would choose, and we would select 3 cards, and then we would take and choose one of these and set that board up, and away we go. We would go on a new hunt. But what these cards, so we have a watcher, but we also have a strider. So there's a new enemy here. Strider's a horse, a mechanical horse. That's another strider. Yeah, so watchers and striders on these particular cards, but different layouts of the board. Different scenery. We got the rocks, vantage points you're able to jump down from, doing a spectacular attack. And so ultimately, we will do 4 encounters like this, progressively harder ones, and then eventually we reach the main quarry, which, as I say, is the sawtooth. And on this, the sawtooth actually, as opposed to just having one behavior card, it actually has a deck of cards that you go through. So it's changing how it reacts to the hunters, which is really cool. And again, each of the expansions, basically what the expansions do is it gives you a different main quarry. right? And it gives you different mini hunts. The box has lots of the small, low-level, everyday sort of machines for you to go for, but this is what you're after. This is the main quarry. And so each expansion brings in a different creature for you to hunt. So if you collected quite a few of these, you could have a whole selection of different creatures, and you could start mixing and matching and having, okay, this hunt, we start off with scrappers and watchers. The next hunt, we end up going to having some striders in there and some shell walkers. Let me go and grab another miniature. It's really nice. It's a really, really great game. So let's. Here's one of the beasts that it's like a deer. That's really nice. And then. This is a strider, which again, you know, when you look at compared to the hunter, they're starting to get bigger. And this is the shell walker. It's a big crab, mechanical crab. And these will be really nice painted up. So, there you go.
Definitely a fun little game.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I think what I'll do is I will sort of record where we've got up to, and we can call this part 1. And what we're able to do is we'll leave it a while, and then we can come back to it, and we'll continue our hunt, because, as I say, there are 4 low-level hunts before we get to the main one. So we can just, you know, every now and again dip back on in and continue through our hunt.
Which makes it a great game day game as well, because if you play 1 or 2 or 3 hunts or whatever, and you can't quite finish the entire game, it's good that it's a game that gives you solid stopping points to then come back to and pick up.
Yes, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah, no, I figured, yes, yeah, we'll definitely do that. We will revisit, because our first actions in the new game is upgrading our hunters, and to see, you know, what the points that they've scored, what they're able to upgrade, and then how do we then fare against our next quarry. So that's what we'll do. Yes, I think that'll be exciting. So we'll leave it a few weeks, and then we'll come back to it.
Yeah, and it was like you said, once we pretty much each did a turn each, it was easy to pick up on, okay, well, I want to move and then shoot, or just move, and yeah. Yeah,
no, we'll definitely, and I can imagine that in a typical games, you know, you'd probably get through a couple of these encounters. We've just been a little bit longer because we're just getting used to it. Next time, we might be able to get like 2 encounters in, because we'll really go for it, won't we? And our speed will just improve with every game.
I don't know, but I suggest that you take a practice roll before the game next time.
Okay. That's probably a good idea. Try and get rid of all those bad rolls before we start playing.
Yeah, because it got better after that first roll. Well, maybe not. Maybe not all of them got better, but a lot of them got better.
Many practice rolls, says Chris. Many practice. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah, for playing.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You can disappear and go and enjoy your cake.
Don't gotta tell me twice. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend, and if you're in England, please don't blow away.
Okay, so my thanks to Sarah for playing tonight's game, which was Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game from Steamforged Games. As I say, we played this to coincide with the launch of Horizon Forbidden West on the Sony PlayStation. We will continue playing this game in a few weeks' time to see what happens in our next hunt. Next week, this was a post-apocalyptic future, but in next week's game, we will be going to the year 20... Hang on a second, is it going to be 2400? Hang on, it can't be 2400. 2400. Yeah. 2400. 2400. So, we will be doing crime detective work in the future. That's what we're going to be doing next week. So if you enjoy sleuthing in the far future, then come and join us on Friday next week. 2400. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a future. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. If you are in the UK, be safe while the storm rages about us. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday evening.
Big of a beast, isn't it?
Yes, thank you, Chris. Thank you. Right, there we go. That's it. Thank you, Blade Mark, for watching. Thank you, Augie. Thank you, Amadon. Thank you, Roga. Okay. Until next time, bye for now.